What makes Miramonte special, other than the academics and stuff that goes on paper and statistics, it's really what doesn't go on paper and statistics. Your kids will get an academic education at Miramonte. The academics is great, so that's not a concern for me as a parent. What I think goes above and beyond for Miramonte is the individualized attention. The teachers, the principals, the community, the other parents really build a bond with your child and your child's classroom. They really build up each child as an individual, their individual talents, their individual interests, their individual personalities. And so children here really get to grow themselves as they start through Miramonte all the way through.
My basic expectation, all the kids get a really great education. That's of course like what you're looking for, but then there's so much more. So what I really like is that you develop this really close relationship with the school. You learn to trust all the teachers and principal and staff. And there's like so many activities on top of that, going on trips. And the kids really have so many opportunities to visit places, to be active, to go to Tech Lab. I think that was a highlight of this year.
It's the class trips, Catalina Island. It's the kind of the mission-oriented field trips we do, week of prayer. I mean, the list goes on. Comparing this to public school and like other private schools, we do a whole lot in terms of community engagement, like serving others. And so, yeah, but class trips stand out the most because the parents get to come along. There was a strong academic focus, don't get me wrong, but our instructors, our teachers always taught us to look beyond, to look long-term and look at the spiritual component of what we're doing. I'd say for me personally, my experience here led me into, I'd say, a different type of ministry, working in the nonprofit sector. I wouldn't have considered that option if the focus was just get good grades, you can get to a good college and make a ton of money. So no, be the best at what you can be, but serve others.
What do you now feel like makes Miramonte so special?
I think we both agree that it's number one, teachers, and then just the community that the teachers, the students, that they create, the families.
Yeah, the teachers are incredible. They dedicate themselves so much, and you can see the relationship and the bond that they create with the kids. I don't expect to see that anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, there's so many. I mean, I'm pretty partial to sports. It's a big part of my life, and so I love that my kids get the opportunity to play sports and not have to choose between the sports. Miramonte is really good about making it so that you can try everything and you can participate in everything, as well as it being a Christ-centered environment while you're doing those sports.
So what I really love about Miramonte is how the school and the teachers in particular help the kids develop their character. So it's always a challenging situation being in a classroom, and what I really liked is whenever the teachers saw some behavior that was worth speaking up about, they really got the parents involved, and we had really great discussions and could sit down with the kids and really work with the teachers together to help the kids develop their character. So you really have the feeling that you work with the teachers and with the school and not against them. And that's something that I cannot value enough.
Again, it's the individuality, and I have a boy and a girl, and they're very different in their own right. Miguel was very techie, very hands-on, very project-based, very early on. And so to see teachers approach his learning style that met his needs, right? It wasn't just papers and readings. Like, as teachers got to know him as an individual, they gave him that flexibility. It's like, okay, we'll do a PowerPoint presentation, do a model, do all this stuff. So they catered to his learning style as much as possible while still giving him the foundations that he needed. And along with that, it's the personality, right? It's building up his self-esteem, building up his ability to talk in front of people, to explore things that I don't think he would have done if he hadn't been here. For Gabby, same thing, but kind of opposite. She was very academically driven, and so she needed that extra challenge. And just seeing her bloom in terms of public speaking, which doesn't really get to happen at such a young age. And here they've got to do musicals, and they got to do sermons that she did this year in 7th grade, and she got to speak in front of a whole community, which I've never seen in 7th grade.
The main thing with all the teachers from that time was the fact that they made you feel special. Like they personified Christ to you as an individual. And so they saw themselves not just as our teachers, but kind of like our spiritual caretakers. And so, yeah, it was awesome just knowing that they cared about us, not just academically. They really wanted us to be good people and get to know God.
It's not just a school, it's a community. There's the education piece, but there's also the spiritual growth. It's not just a school. It's a lot more than that. I've had positive role models and behavior modeled for me through my attendance to Miramonte. So growing up and learning how to treat others, accepting diversity and different people from different backgrounds and different interests, and being able to have great relationships with those people. And I think into my professional career that completely applies. That's a lot of what we talk about at work is diversity and inclusion, and they're just starting to do that. I learned that 30 years ago at Miramonte. They did that for me. So I think that's very relevant.
I like the smaller school setting as well as the Christ-centered education. It feels like a family. When you walk in the door and you can see it throughout campus, throughout the different events. They pray before and after every event, during meal times, even on field trips. God is the focus.
When you choose Miramonte, because you will choose Miramonte, just know that your kids will be treated like family. The teachers, the staff, everyone that surrounds your children will be filling them with love and support and tender love and care that they need and deserve. Just as Jesus gives us every single day, they will receive too.
This school allows you to really be involved in the day-to-day of your kids' education and these experiences. Miramonte it's a community of support, so much so that it's actually family. It's a family of people who will give you everything they have, right? Will support you, will be there for you no matter what. And as someone who's been here as a student and seeing my kids grow up through this institution, it's incredible because the relationships I made here still serve me today in the most beautiful way. So send your kid here. It's a beautiful place.